All right. Yay, I got it to work. Okay, welcome. Happy Monday, guys. What is the date? January 21st. We are in the third Monday, third Monday of the month. I am so excited and welcome to our Team Sweaty Lovely Life team call. Yes, it does not. So I'm so excited for tonight's call, you guys. We have a awesome, amazing guest speaker that I'm going to introduce in a minute. But I want to first just go through some recognition. So I'm going to share my screen. And I just have to shout out some people. So you guys, January so far has been a really amazing month for us. We are a growing team. We really have come so far in just the last couple of months. We have some amazing new leaders on the rise that have joined us with our new coach mentorship this month. And I'm just so pumped that we have changed 21 lives in January so far. And the fact that we have, I think not quite 2 weeks left to change even more. I'm just really fired up and excited about this, and I'm really excited for our speaker tonight to bring us even more awesome knowledge that can help fire us up even more. So I just want to shout out Leah again for just kicking ass. She is having her best month ever. She's really leading with her passion and from her heart. We've talked about it. She had a really rough month in November and took it, and she basically turned it around and used it to reignite her fire and learn from it. And when other people quit, she didn't, and here she is in a freaking class hanging on our team call. So I'm super proud of Leah, and I'm also really excited about all these newcomers here that are on the board this week, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of you guys over here in the club with us next week. Okay, so I wanted to share that, and now I want to introduce, how do I find you? Okay, here I am. I'm going to introduce our guest speaker. This is so small, but here she is. All right, Sydney freaking Thompson. Okay, so Sydney is a coach on the Desire Empire, who, if you guys know, so Team Elevate, led by Ashley Feldison, one of her coaches, Kate Schultz. Now, I always forget her name is now Schultz. Sydney is one of her coaches. So that amazing, team organization that we look up to so much, Sydney is one of the coaches on that team. She literally, I believe you can clarify me if I'm wrong. You've been a coach for a year, Sydney? Yeah, she's been a coach for a year. She literally is in 5-star qualifications for 5-star diamond. She's a Success Club 10 all-star. And if you listen to the National Wake Up Call today, you know what a big deal that is, especially for a brand new freaking coach. I mean, she's been hitting Success Club 10 or changing 5 lives a month at minimum for the last 12 months in a row, which is crazy. She is also an Air Force wife, which I love that. I find that so relatable. She's a retired teacher, and she has a freaking dog. Wow. You have 2 dogs? Yeah. Okay. So I'll let her introduce herself some more, but I'm so excited to hear from her and learn from her, and see what she has to share with us tonight. So I will stop my share and mute myself. And
okay, well, thanks for that introduction. I appreciate it. And I'm so excited to be talking to you guys tonight. So kind of what I'm going to talk to you all about is just getting over your fears of through coaching and just being yourself and doing your thing. So one sec. There we go. Okay. I'm going to start off by telling my story, just in case you guys, I'm sure you don't really know any of my story, so I'm going to tell you guys that. So a year ago, I was a first year teacher. I was teaching 5th grade, and I like loved my job when I started. I was the girl who like went to college to be a teacher, and I was like buying stuff for my classroom the whole time, like had lessons planned out for years, and like teaching was just my dream, and I thought it was going to be everything that I'd ever hoped for. So I started out as a teacher, and in the first month that I was teaching, my husband was going on his first deployment. So that definitely like threw a curve into like my entire life. I didn't know what I was going to do. At the time, I'm an Air Force wife, so all of my friends had just kind of like left and didn't really have any friends. My family doesn't live close by to me, and my husband just left, and I'm a first year teacher. So my life was just insane. And I was just the girl, I was like coming home every day, watching Netflix, going to sleep. I really had no like social life, no anything except for teaching. Like that was the only thing that I was doing. And I quickly found out that teaching, while I loved my students more than anything, I wasn't in love with teaching anymore. Like I didn't like the school. I didn't like all the other stuff that goes along with teaching. I don't know if any of you guys are teachers. I think you guys are mostly nurses. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Well, like, so I just kind of like fell out of love with teaching. And at the time, my mom she's been doing Beachbody for like 4 years. Like she's lost 40 pounds. She's in amazing shape. So I knew Beachbody was legit, but I never wanted to do it with her. I was always the girl who was like pretty fit in high school because I played sports. And then when I got married and went to college and stuff, I didn't really do anything. I had never had any experience like eating healthy or anything like that. So my mom asked me like, do you want to do this 80-day program with me when 80-day Obsession was launching? And I was like, why would anybody ever want to do that? Like, no. So I told her no. And then I started following my coach, Kate, and we were just like kind of friends on Instagram. I had a teacher Instagram, if you guys know what that is. It's like teachers go on there and just share their lesson plans and stuff. And she reached out to me, and I told her no. My mom's a coach. She's a discount coach. And I'm allergic to Shakeology, so I can't. But, like, I wasn't. Like, I just didn't want to do it. And I felt really bad because I didn't want to let her down. So I just, like, lied to her. And a couple of days later, it was like 9 at night, and I was like, you know what? I just want to like do this program. Like, she looks like she's having so much fun. She's making these friends, and she just seems really happy. And at the time, I was not happy. Like, I didn't have friends. I didn't have anybody to talk to except for talking on my Instagram account. And I was such a negative person on my Instagram that I was attracting negative people. So then it was just like, everybody was just mean, and that wasn't really what I wanted anymore. So I joined her challenge group, and then a week later I fell like so in love with 80-day Obsession that I decided to become a coach. So I became a coach, and I don't think that I've ever like stopped since I got started. So I definitely didn't need anything else on my plate at the time. I was busy being a teacher, and I had no intentions of ever quitting my job. I even told my upline coach, Ashley, when I got on a call the first time, I was like, don't ask me to quit my job, because like that's not happening. And I was like, I just want to do this like for the friends. And I like wanted $50 a month so I could get my nails done. But then I quickly found out like how much joy coaching brought me and how much I freaking loved it. So I just kept going with it. But I'm kind of going to switch gears right now and talk to you guys about being yourself and finding your tribe and finding your girls. So when I started coaching, of course, like I was so scared to put myself out there. I had this anonymous Instagram account, and I didn't have my name on there. I didn't have anybody that I knew. I did not even tell my husband for 2 weeks that I signed up as a coach, because I was like, he's going to think that I'm insane. Like, I don't work out. I don't know how to eat healthy. Why would I even like try to do this? So I had no problem, though, talking to people that I didn't know. I was like, I don't care. If they don't like me, they can unfollow me. It doesn't really matter. And I think that that's kind of the mindset that you have to have, even if you have a personal account where people you know that follow you, you just have to put that aside, because it's so important, guys. Like, you signed up for a coach because you signed up to be a coach because you loved the products, right? Or you love the programs, or you loved the community that it's bringing you. So you have to share that with honestly everybody and push your blinders on and not care what people think about you. So when I went out to invite, I think I was just so scared at the beginning to get a no. I was like, I don't want anybody to say no. And when they did, I would just be like, okay, cool. Like, talk to you later. See you, bye. Or I just wouldn't even reply when they said, no, thank you, or I'm already doing something else. And what I teach my coaches now is like, getting a no is like my favorite thing, because at least that person responded to me and they gave me the time of day that they like acknowledged that I messaged them, because you guys know what it's like to get ignored. I get ignored all the time. So sorry, I'm looking at my notes over here. I'm such a squirrel brain. Most of your invites are honestly either going to get ignored or you're going to get a no. So if they take enough time to say no, you need to ask them why not. So ask them, do you already have something else that you love? Like if they say, I can't afford that or whatever, I always follow it up and be like, when would be a better time for me to check back in with you? Because it's never like a no forever. I really don't think it is. I think it's like a not right now. And even if they say like, I'm going to Orange Theory or I'm doing blah, 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 just be supportive and be like, wow, that's so awesome. Like, that's like, I'm so glad that you found something that you love. And you have to be genuine about that. You have to be genuinely happy for them that they have something they love, because Beachbody, not every single person on this earth needs Beachbody. Like, some people can go to the gym and be awesome about it, and that's great. And I'm going to support them. But then in a couple months when you go to follow up, be like, hey girl, how's Orange Theory going? Like, maybe it's going great. And maybe she's like, hey, I don't go anymore. I don't have time, or I couldn't afford it, or I would love to make money for talking about health and fitness. You just have to keep asking. So even if they say no, like, follow up with them later. One of my coaches, I've been talking to her since last January, and she tried like every single other program in the world before finally deciding to do Beachbody. She finally signed up for my boot camp. And then became a coach like a week later and is like killing it. And she's like, I'm discouraged. Like, nobody's signing up with me. I'm like, dude, I talked to you for a year. Like, I genuinely checked up on you for a year until you said, okay. And I was happy for you when you were doing stuff and like giving her advice about other things. So just use that. And if they ignore me, guys, I literally have so many conversations where it's like, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Like, I just keep inviting them. Like, they're watching my story. They haven't blocked me yet, and they haven't told me to like leave them alone and never talk to them again. So obviously they care about you a little bit if they're not blocking you. And like, that sounds funny, but some people just aren't ready to respond yet, and it's not their time. So you need to just keep asking them, and just keep following up with them every month. Like, I just send a variation of a different invite. And if you guys have any questions, like, drop them in the chat, or like you can unmute yourself or whatever you want to do. But don't get discouraged when you send out all of your invites for the day and get all no's, because every single person in this business has days like that, has months like that. And you just have to remember that every time that you are putting yourself out there and asking somebody, you're planting like a little seed. And I think of this with my coach, Kate. If she would have never asked me to do it, would she have been the first person that I thought of? I don't know. Like, probably not. Just because like I saw other people doing Beachbody too, but nobody else had ever asked me about it. So when I was ready, I was like, okay, Kate's doing that, so I'm going to reach out to her because I've already talked to her about it. So every time that you are following up with someone or talking about it on your stories or posting about it again, you're like watering that seed for those people. So then every time they get on Instagram and they see your like little bubble and you're talking about your boot camp every single freaking day, when they're ready, you're going to be the one that they go to, because they know, number one, you're consistent. Number two, like, you're going to be ready to go because you already have a poll right there for them to click on. Or like you say like, DM me if you're ready to get started. They can DM you. Like, they know that you're going to be inviting to this and they know where to find you. So be there when they're ready. And you need to be consistent about it. You can't just wake up on Monday and be like, yeah, I'm gonna like crush this week. I'm gonna send 100 invites right now. And then like the rest of the week, just like chill and do nothing. It's like so much better to just send like 15 every single day. You can't just like go balls to the walls and then just like coast for a while. It's better to just follow up and send your invites every day and get into that habit and find a number, not a number that's comfortable. Like, find a number that you almost hate doing is kind of what I say. Like, I get to the point where at the end of my invites, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to send any more. But it's like, then I get there and I'm done. But if I was sending like 100, I would be burnt out in like 3 days because that's ridiculous. So pick your number that like pushes you a little bit more than you're comfortable with and stick with that every single day, or at least 5 days a week, or whatever you're doing for your business. When I was a teacher, I was sending less invites. I was probably sending like 30 invites a day when I was teaching, at least 5 or 6 days a week. And do I personalize my invites or do a script? I just do a script, guys. Like, I'm so chill with my invites. Because that's just kind of how the person that I am. And you have to talk like how you would want to be invited. So I just say like, hey girl, I'm enrolling for my January boot camp with the brand new program I'm doing. Just wondering if you wanted some more info about it. Like that's it. And then they say yes or no, and then we go into more conversation. But I'm just like super relaxed about it in the beginning. Even with people that I don't necessarily have a relationship with, I don't know how you guys do it or how you guys teach to it, but personally, I invite anybody who's following me or watching my stories or liking my posts or commenting on them, because when they're on your page, like they're in your business, like your actual business, because that's what you're doing on Instagram, right? If you walked into American Eagle and you would expect them to be like, hey, can I help you? Like, you're in the store. So if someone's following you, it's pretty clear that you are a coach and you are working some sort of business. At least it should be if you're really working your business. And like, if people aren't interested in that, I would be like, why are you following me then? Like, that's what I talk about most of the time. Like, obviously I have another part of my life going on, but it's like, clearly you know that I'm in a business, so you can't get annoyed when I'm asking you about it. And they build a relationship with you like through your stories and through your posts. You don't always have to like get to know every single person on a deeper level before you invite them. At least that's how I feel personally. Sorry, got a little off track there. So then I always just say, like, you need to be doing the things every day. You can't just post about your boot camp once a week and expect people to sign up with you or to vote in your poll, or like you just talk about coaching like once a month when you're running a sneak peek. That doesn't work because, well, it does, but you're going to get a lot less people and you're going to be like, why is nobody signing up? And it's because realistically, not every single person is watching your story from beginning to end every single day. Like, there's nobody who, I'm sure there's some people who do that, but realistically, probably not. And they might miss your post on Wednesday about you being a coach and inviting to your sneak peek. So then when they go watch you on like Friday, you don't even talk about it anymore. So they didn't even know that you were inviting to it. So it's like, you have to be dropping little things every day. I try to talk about my group and coaching, even if it's just one story about each thing every single day, because when that person's ready, who's watching you, you never know like what they need to be hearing that day. Like, maybe your post is exactly what they needed to finally be like, okay, I'm ready, I'm in. Or like, how much would it suck if someone was finally ready to like be a coach or be a challenger and change their life, and they go to your page because you had been consistent in the past, and they go to your profile and you haven't posted a thing in 2 weeks about health and fitness. And they're like, okay, well, like, is she still doing it? So they go to your story, you're talking about your dog, you're talking about like different things in your life, but you're not talking about like coaching or your boot camp at all. They're like, is she even doing it? Like, I don't even know. More than likely, they're not going to have the confidence to like reach out to you and be like, are you still doing that? Like, but if they go on your page and they see a transformation photo, they see like a picture of you doing something coaching related, they go to your story, they see a poll and they see you working out, like, they're like, okay, clearly she's still doing this. I can do this too. I'm ready to sign up. So be consistent and be there when those people are ready, because you never know when they will be. And then I kind of just want to go into like being yourself and being authentically you. So hold on, gotta get a little more energized and hydrated. So I am the kind of person who really doesn't care what people think about me. And you really have to get like this in this business. Like, maybe you wouldn't think this, but like, I am such an introvert. Like, people scare me. And like, it's really hard for me to talk to people. Like, I seem bubbly and exciting, and I am, but it's still like, I'm still scared of people. So don't think that I'm not, but you kind of have to just teach yourself to, number one, not care. And number two, just like, I mean, basically I'm saying the same thing. Do whatever you want. Like, get on, your Instagram is your page, your life. You're going to post about what you want to post about, and don't let anybody hold you back. I don't care if it's your best friend. I don't care if it's your mom or your husband or whatever. Like, you need to be yourself on your page at all times and not be afraid of what anybody's going to think about you. Because honestly, guys, everybody in this world who's following you or like close to you or whatever, they're probably going to judge you for something. And no matter what you're doing, if you're at your corporate job or like nursing or posting about your dog, like, they're going to judge you anyways. So why not get out of your comfort zone and share something that you love, that you know can change people's lives? Don't like hide behind things, and don't tell people that you're a coach, or don't tell people what you're doing because you're scared of what they're going to think, because honestly, they're going to judge you no matter what. So it's like, why not just do whatever you want to do and what makes you happy? And that's something that I totally needed to get over. Like I said, I never even told my friends about this for the longest time. But once I did, it's shocking to see how supportive they are. And the ones who aren't, unfollow me. Like, I don't care. If you don't like my business, like, that's fine. Like, we can still be friends, but you don't have to follow me on Instagram if you like really hate me that much. Never mind. I don't know. I don't want to be friends with those people anyways, and you don't want them in your life. But one tip that I have for you guys is, oh yeah, like, your friends unfollow you? I'm like, unfollow me then. Like, you're not paying for my bills and I'm happy. So like, if someone hates you for being happy and fit, like, what kind of person are they? Like, obviously I wouldn't want them in my life anyways. And okay, here's my biggest piece of advice. If you are following a bunch of coaches, unfollow them. Like, I'm serious. Like, even if it's me, like, unfollow me if you have to. I spent so much time like looking at other coaches' stuff and being like, why can't I be like them? Like, oh, they just like qualify, like, they are qualifying for this. They got like so many coaches this week. What are they posting about? Like, how are they getting so many people? So it's like, unless I know someone personally and like have some sort of connection with them, I don't follow them. And I honestly have to block a lot of coaches, as silly as that sounds, just because I waste so much of my energy like looking at what they're doing and wishing that I could, like, my feed could look as good as theirs, or like I could be as good a coach as them. I just unfollow them and block them so they don't even show up in my explore page anymore, because you really need to like put your blinders on in this business. It's so easy to get wrapped up in what everybody else is doing and how you're wondering how they're doing this, how you're doing that. You just need to put your head down and do the work and be yourself, and the people are going to come to you. Those people are going to sign up with those coaches. Like, their people are going to go to them no matter what. I really feel that in my heart. Like, the people who are meant to sign up with Amy Silverman are going to sign up with Amy Silverman no matter what. And the people who are meant to sign up with me are going to sign up with me. So be yourself, because those people want you. They don't want all these other coaches. You have something to offer them, and they want you. So how are you going to find them if you're not being yourself? And you really just have to believe that what you have to offer is a gift, and that will make being yourself and being authentic and inviting and posting on your stories so much easier. Because if you don't believe in Beachbody like to your core, and you don't believe in yourself to your core, it's going to be extremely hard to be successful in this business. You have to believe that what you have to offer can change someone's entire life, and you're never going to feel bad about offering them anything. You're not going to feel bad about the price, because you know what a good deal it is. Like, you can change someone's life for like $160. And if someone's like, that's too expensive, you're like, dude, your life isn't worth $160 like mine is. And you're not going to feel bad about it. And that confidence is going to shine through on your invites, on your posts, on your stories, literally in all parts of you. And people are going to stop like giving you so many excuses. Obviously, I still have weird people who give me the weirdest excuses in the world, but like, people know what I have to offer, and they know what I have to offer is legit because I talk about it all the time and how like important it is and how much it's changed my life. So when I go to invite them, they already know what I'm talking about, and they're like, okay, yeah, I've seen you doing that. Like, they're usually just like, what's the price? And they're like, that's like straight what they go to because they already know what you're doing because you're so passionate and talking about it. I feel like I'm so all over the place. I'm sorry. I just feel very squirrel brain tonight, but I hope I'm giving you bits and pieces of good info here. And then, okay, so Amy kind of said, like, what's your best pieces of advice? And I have literally a whole page, so let's just see. Number one, obviously I've said it 100 times and you'll hear it from every single coach, is to be consistent. Invite every day. Read personal development every day. Get on your Instagram every single day and just be consistent AF all the time. Number two, I always like tell my coaches, like, the word discouraged is not allowed. Like, you have no reason to be discouraged, especially if you have, like, maybe if you've been a coach for like 5 years and you've invited like 7 million people and nobody said yes, like, maybe then you could be discouraged. But like, the most frustrating thing to me is when coaches say, I'm discouraged. And I'm like, why? And they're like, everyone's saying no. I'm like, literally not everybody's saying no. Like, you have not asked every single person in the United States, UK, and Canada combined. If they've all said no, then everybody said no. If not, find more people. If not, keep doing your thing, because coaches will be like, I'm so discouraged. And then like a month later, they're hitting Success Club because they just kept doing the things. I'm like, girl, you just have to keep doing it. You just have to keep doing it. Like, I promise it's going to happen for you if you just trust me. And you guys have to trust me too. I'm sure Amy says the same thing. Trust that if you just keep doing it, it's going to happen. Success in this business is inevitable. It's a numbers game too. If you continue to reach out to people and talk to more people are going to be watching you and more people are going to join you just because of what you're doing. But if you are like 100% on for a week and then end of the month, you're like, crap, I have to get to Success Club. It's going to be really hard, right? Because you haven't just been pumping that well every single day for the whole month. And I tell my coaches, like, the Success Club points that I'm getting now, hardly any of them are like these brand new followers who I've literally never talked to. It's girls that I've been talking to since last January, since last May, or whatever, and have just kept the relationship going and just kept talking to them. But hardly ever do I just reach out to a new follower and they're like, sure, let's go for it. Like, that really doesn't happen. Even for like the most experienced coaches. So you just have to remember that you have to keep talking to people, have to keep following up with people. And if you're getting discouraged about something, YouTube a training to like teach you how to do something if you don't really understand how to do it. And you need to read your personal development because you have to continue to be positive. And like, positivity and believing in yourself, I feel like is the number one thing in this business. And I'm like so not like a universe like person, but I truly feel like when I go into my invites and I'm like, I don't want to send these, like, nobody's gonna sign up. Nobody signs up, guys. Like, dead serious. When I have a negative mindset, it's like I'm sending the same invite that I always do, but there's something about it and nobody signs up. But when I'm going through, sometimes I have to yell at myself and be like, this person will love what I have to offer. I could change this person. Like, every time I'm sending a message, I'm like, I could change this person's life. Like, this is important. This is special. Like, I just have to keep telling myself that. And once you truly believe it, that's when people are going to join you. You can't be like, this sucks. I don't want to send invites, but I'm going to do it. Like, nobody wants to join me. Like, I haven't hit Success Club. They're not going to. It's the universe. I promise. And okay, another piece of advice is find a friend in this business. I don't care if it's someone on your team. I don't care if it's one of your coaches. I don't care if it's someone on a totally different team, but you need to find a friend. Otherwise, number one, you're going to be super lonely. Number two, you need like some sort of success partner, and I encourage it to not be like your upline coach. My coach is my literally best friend in the world, but she's not my success partner. I like don't work with her. Like obviously we talk about things, but I have success partners on totally opposite teams, and we just like send each other our trackers every single day. Like we don't really talk that much, but it's just like, here's my tracker. And then when we want to like mastermind about something, we get on a Zoom. And you really need to find a friend. And I think that that's what changes people's mindset in this business is once I give them a success partner, coaches who have been hitting like Success Club 2 or something, I'm like, I partner them up with someone else who's hitting Success Club 2, and I'm like, hey guys, like your goal is to hit Success Club this month. Like, what are you gonna do? And they start like getting on Zoom together. They start like running these groups together. They do their emails together. They do their team calls together, and all of a sudden they're just like killing it because they're bouncing off of each other. And one of them gets to Success Club, and the other one's like, crap, I have to hurry up. And then now it's like, okay, like what about Success Club 10? So find a partner in this business. Don't be afraid to like reach out to someone that you don't really know, but find someone like similar to your level that's going to push you and is going to make you a better coach, because that really is something that's so important for me. And the reason that I encourage you to find someone other than Amy, while Amy is amazing, this is my last little spiel here. I hid in my coach's shadow for so long, like probably for like 9 months. And okay, so the story really is like my coach signed up about a month before me. She was like a 6-star diamond in 6 months. She's number 18 in the company, like making a crap ton of money. And here's me. And I'm like, crap. Like like from the beginning, it was always like, Kate's better than me. And she was doing better than me. She came into the business like killing it. And for so long, I just kind of hid in her shadow. I would sign working coaches and I would just put them into her team page and like not really like give them to her, but I was like, what I have to say isn't important. So like, I'm just going to put them in her team page for her team calls and her trainings. And when I would run it, like do a sneak peek, I would just put them into her sneak peek because I was like, well, she already has her crap together. She already knows what she's talking about. And I would convince myself that what I had to say like wasn't important. I was like, why would anybody watch me when they could just watch Kate? And finally, like one of my personally sponsored coaches was like, dude, make your own trainings, get your own team page. Like, yes, we love Kate, but like we didn't sign up with Kate. We signed up with you. And what you have to say is like important. And that just like hit me. I was like, crap, like you're right. So like for the longest time, I sat at Diamond. I got to 1 star and just kind of chilled there. I really didn't do anything. I did not do anything. I was signing challengers like it was my job. Like getting like tons of girls in my boot camp, but you kind of have to ask yourself, do you want to be the girl who just sells a bunch of challenge packs and gets people in your boot camp? Like, obviously, that's important. Or do you want to be the girl who's signing working coaches and building a freaking empire? And I had to switch my mindset with that. Like, yes, I'm getting girls in my boot camp, but ultimately, I want like a freaking team of boss babes. And that's where you have to switch your mindset and step up and be a leader. So my biggest piece of advice is to stop, number one, hiding in your coach's shadow and thinking that you're not good enough to do what your coach or do what other coaches are doing, because you're only standing in your own way. And when I quit, honestly, guys, it was like November. And I've been sitting at 1 star for like 6 months probably. And finally I was just like, you know what? Like I'm hitting 5 star, like I'm doing it. And I think the biggest thing that I used to worry about is like, I would map it out. I'd be like, okay, this person could hit diamond on this side, and then this person will hit diamond on this side. This person will do this person will do that. This person will sign up as a coach. And I was banking on all these people doing all these things and just like kind of waiting for it. I was like, oh, it'll happen. Like they'll do it. They didn't do it. The people that I'd planned to hit 5-star with, no, like it wasn't. And you just have to put your head down and do the work. You don't have to have any idea who's going to be your coaches to get you to Diamond, or who's going to get you to 1-star, or who's going to get you to Success Club this month. You don't have to know who it is and be mapping it out in your head. You have to just sit down, do the work, and the people are going to show up. And when I decided I was sick of like pretending like what I had to say wasn't important, that my coach was so much better than me and had all these like superpowers that I didn't have, that's when I hit 5-star. Like, honestly, guys, everything in the universe just like came together, and it happened because I put my head down. I worked my butt off every single day, and two of my coaches just showed up. Like, they finally were like, we're here. And I got a couple new coaches, and they just killed it. I wasn't like mapping it out, like who's going to help me do this. I just did the work, and they showed up. So quit wasting your time banking on other people, and like do the work, and it's going to happen for you. It might not happen in a month. It might not happen in 2 months, but you just have to keep doing the work, and it eventually will happen. So believe bigger sooner, and don't count yourself out of anything. You can absolutely do whatever you want to do in this business. If you want to hit Diamond by the end of February, hit Diamond by the end of February. Like, it's a decision. And if you decide it and you put it in your planner right now, like, but you have to do the work to get there. But don't just be like, oh, I think I can hit Diamond like by Summit, because then it's just like you're gonna chill until like the month before Summit, and then you're gonna be like, oh my god, I have to get to Diamond. But if you set a goal like, I want to hit Diamond by the end of February, you're going to be hustling, right? You're going to be working and trying to get to Diamond before the end of February. And if you don't hit it, oh well, like you probably worked a lot harder than you would have if you would have said, I'm going to hit Diamond by Summit, because that's just how it works, right? Like, you have to put your back against the wall. But yeah, so that was a lot of info. I hope that you guys got something out of that. My brain was like all over the place. Did your working coaches start out as challengers? Okay. Let me think. So most of them honestly don't start as challengers. I get a lot of like girls who maybe they're a challenger for like a week, but I don't even count that, because it's not like they really had like a transformation or like had been loving it for like a year or something like that. Most of my coaches sign up as coaches right away. And yeah. Do you do sneak peeks? Yes. So I have been doing them once a month, but now I'm going to start doing them every like 2 weeks or so. But what I do is I invite to my sneak peek like I would a challenge group. So I like go into people's inboxes and I'm like, hey, okay, so I find the girls who like I really think would be my tribe. So it takes me a lot longer to like go through the people and be like, okay, she would be a good coach, like possibly, or she might be interested, like she looks like she's cool. And I just say, hey, I'm running a coach sneak peek this week to show what I do as a coach and how you can do it too. Would you be interested? Like, it's free, no obligations. And I talk about it so much in my story. So the things that I talk about in my sneak peek are like what I do, like my day-to-day tasks, how I made it work when I was working full-time, because most people don't just like have no job, and they want to know how they can balance it like with their real lives. I talk about how I make money and how much you have to invest. So like, you're buying a challenge pack, or if you're already a challenger, it's free. And then I talk about like objections, and that's when I feel like I get the most people to join my sneak peek. Is I go on my stories and I'm like, I said this last week, I was like, how many of you have watched my story and thought, okay, I could never be a coach like Sydney because I'm an introvert? And then I put like a poll. Or I could never be a coach because I don't have a transformation, or I don't know much about health and fitness. And I put a poll. And so many people interacted. Guys, normally when I put a poll in there, like 2 people vote, and like one of them was already my challenger. So like, to get a lot of votes, I was like, okay. So then I invited all of those people to my sneak peek, and every time I was like, swipe up to go to my or to join my sneak peek, or like click the link in my bio if you want to see what it is I do. But address those objections in your stories and in your post all the time about coaching and about your boot camp too, because like I was saying earlier, I really rarely ever get like objections about time or even money anymore, just because number one, they know how much I have to offer them, like the value, and I'm always like, dude, you have time. Like, it's 20 minutes. Don't give me that excuse. So I rarely ever get excuses other than like, I'm already doing something else, or that's like the main excuse that I get. And I think it's because I always squash those objections in my stories, in my posts. So it's like they have nothing to say back to me because like they know that I'm no BS, and I'm gonna call them out and be like, no, like you have time to do that. I promise. Like, I'm a little sassy with my responses, of course, like in a loving way. But if they tell me an objection, I'm like, I question it and I ask them about it. So yeah, that was about sneak peeks originally. But I do invite to them. I always post about them in my like polls, in my boot camp, or in my stories and stuff, so then people can see what I do. And my advice for like a sneak peek is I like pump it up. So I do like 10-minute or less videos. I'm like so excited about it, like freaking out, because people want to see you excited. They don't want you to just come on there and be like, okay, here's my sneak peek. Like, here's what I do. But you have to be like, guys, like, this is what we do. Like, this is exciting. And then I tag every single person in every single video. So, like, if you join my sneak peek, like, I'm tagging you in the video being like, did you watch this? Like, drop an emoji once you watched it. And then, like, halfway through the sneak peek, I'm like, hey, what are you thinking? And then after the sneak peek, I'm like, what'd you think? Like, do you want to join? And if they say no, like, then I give them the option, well, would you rather just be in a challenge group? And sometimes they say yeah. Sometimes they're like, this just isn't for me. And I'm like, okay, cool, like, whatever. But just keep running them. Even if you have literally 0 people signing up from a sneak peek, run another one. It doesn't matter. Like, sometimes I get 0 people signing up. But the best example is my coach, this is like in November when I was like, I'm hitting 5-star, and I didn't even know 5 people who were going to get to meet a 5-star. This girl had been sitting in my sneak peek for like 4 months, never had really talked to her very much. Like, she always just ignored everything that I said. But she just kept watching my sneak peeks. She would join every single one, watch every single video, every single time. And finally she was like, okay, I'm doing this. Hit diamond in a month. I didn't know this girl. When I said I'm hitting 5-star, I didn't know who this girl was. She wasn't even my challenger. She wasn't even someone who I like talked to on Instagram that was like in the back of my mind, like she would be a good coach. She was this random girl, and she messaged me on Instagram like, I want to be a coach. And I'm like, oh, you should like totally join my sneak peek. That would be awesome. She's like, I've been in the last 4. She's like, I'm good. Like, let's go. And I'm like, okay, who are you? And she's killing it. So just think, what if I would have stopped running sneak peeks because I got annoyed that nobody was signing up, or like 1 person signed up and then they quit like a week later, or those people sign up and then they ghost you forever and you're like, what just happened? That happens to me too. But just think, if I would have given up, like, she would have never joined my team. Like, she would have found someone else. Like, that's just how it is. So you have to be there when they're ready. Do I do 10-minute videos one after another? I do it over 3 days. So every day I like do a live video. And so then every day in my story, I'm like talking about what I'm going to be talking about in the video, if that makes sense. But yeah.
Hold on. First of all, holy crap. I love it. Okay.
That was so much info. I'm so sorry.
So much info, but it was all so good. Okay, so I had a couple things I jotted down.
Yeah.
So, all right. With your invites, do you always, like, you lead with, I think you already maybe touched on this, you lead with the coaching discount, like when you're, like, I explain it, like, this is the price, and I explain it like as if they were going to sign up as a discount coach, because that's how I signed up. So like, I don't even really, and if they have a problem with that, then I go to customer. But I didn't know, it sounded like maybe you convert your customers to discount coaches a lot, or no?
Okay, so it just kind of like depends on where I was in my business. So when I was pushing for diamond, I was signing everybody up as a discount coach
Right.
and giving them that opportunity. Or when I was like trying to get my husband to diamond, I was signing up everybody as a discount coach. But now I honestly don't even mention the discount until they've already signed up as a challenger. So like, for example, I have a bunch of girls doing Transform 20, and I sent them an email today and explained like the discount. And I was like, if you're loving your Shakeology or performance line, like here's the breakdown of how you can get the discount and stuff like that. So I explained it a little later. But yeah, I personally don't sign up everybody as a discount coach anymore.
Okay.
But when I was pushing for diamond, I was.
So do you find, why did you make that?
Why did I make that shift?
Yeah.
So I got to like a solid diamond, and I find that, well, you're gonna make more money off of their like commission if they're just a challenger, because otherwise you're just getting volume off of their monthly orders, and that'll maybe like let you team cycle one time. Not even, because if they're only ordering 90 PV, that's not even one team cycle, so maybe $14. But if they're ordering Shakeology every month, well, not every month, but like occasionally enough, you're making 25% off of their order every single time. And I don't know, like my tribe of girls, like don't want it. Like I will explain even to my girls who are like ordering it religiously every single month. I'm like, you can get a discount. And they're like, no, that's okay. Like I don't want it. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, here's what it is. And they're like, no. So I think it's just like kind of like your tribe, because I have girls on my team, they sign every single person up as a discount coach and nobody ever questions it. But me, I try to do that. They're like, what does this mean? Why does this say discount coach? They're like, I don't want that. I don't want anything to do with that. And I'm like, okay, like you can just be a challenger. Okay. So it just kind of depends on your tribe. But if it works for you, like signing up discount coaches, then that's fine too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's funny you said that, because like literally in like the last 2 weeks, I feel like I'm getting so much like resistance over them signing up as discount coach.
Yeah.
Whereas in months, like since I hit diamond, because that's what I learned in my push group, was to like basically like, just lead with that opportunity.
Yep.
I've been doing it ever since, and it's just like right now I don't know what's going on, and I'm just like, oh my god. So anyway, I wondered why I made that shift, but I totally agree. I think like especially if you are pushing for diamond or things like that, like you just have to like lead with that discount. But I also just think in my head, like literally I would rather save $20 a month, you know what I mean?
I know.
So
yeah.
anyway.
It just depends on the person. But of course, if you're pushing for diamond, like lead with that. And like, I didn't even really like give them another option. I would just like send them a share cart with the coach sign up and be like, here's what we're doing. Like, and then of course they could say no, but it's just like, this is how I do it. When did I start building my husband to diamond? How many PS coaches did I have? Did I have under myself? Is that what you mean, Leah?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I waited like kind of like, remember how I was just like chilling? I was like, this person will do it. This person, like my husband was not my first diamond. Like he was my third diamond actually. So I don't really remember how many personally sponsored coaches I had. I had a couple of emeralds on each side of myself just to make sure that I was safe. But I would encourage you, like your discount coaches, as long as you're like a solid diamond, meaning you have like, I would say like 7-ish coaches on each side and at least one emerald on each side, that's pretty solid. Then that's when I tell my girls, okay, like start signing up your husband. But I hate it when my girls get stressed out because they're like trying to put people here and here and here because like they're going to drop diamond over here, but they just signed all these coaches under their husband. So it's just like, of course, I would always ask Amy every time, like, what do you think I should do before I sign this person? Like, should I sign them under my CBC or should I sign them under myself? But I would just work on like getting yourself solid first, so then you're not like scrambling every week to hold your diamond, because that's like the worst feeling is, or even like emerald, it's like, oh my gosh, like what the heck, like just make sure that you're good to go first. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I signed up my husband, like, he was not my husband at the time, but he was like, I don't know, maybe 3 months in, I finally got him to sign up. But I am so thankful I did, just because I could control him being an emerald. Like, just to solidify my diamond from like that point on. Like, I haven't started building him yet. I actually, again, hindsight is 2020. Can I just say that? So I actually signed up my mom on my weak leg. So she has actually been the diamond that I've been trying to build. So I just totally, I believe in like signing up a family member or spouse like ASAP, just so you can like have that control.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, even if you don't fully understand it, like, I had no idea what was happening when my coach told me to sign up my husband. I was just like, okay. And you just have to trust your coach, because now if I didn't have my husband, like, that would not be fun. Number one, I wouldn't be making as much money. Number two, it's like, you control him to hit diamond, you control him to hit 1 star, or like a family member, whoever you're doing it with. But it just makes it like so much better if you have somebody else over there.
Yeah, totally. I just wanted to talk on the whole confidence thing, because holy crap, I am such an introvert too. But I feel like, just like you, it's almost like this, you have to have that I don't give a fuck attitude. You just do. But it does not come naturally. And like, the only way that I feel like I even can, because I definitely still fake it. Like, right, there have been like these past couple months, like really hard months, where I'm just like, it's so hard not to doubt, because growth is uncomfortable, right? And like, none of us have been through any of this before, so it's like everything's constantly new, so you're constantly like getting hit with like, oh my god, but can I do this? Yes, I can do this. But it's like, I just totally feel like that's like probably a lot, like, you attract what you attract. I'm an introvert, I attract a lot of introverts, and like people who are kind of like scared to get out of that comfort zone. But I really feel like, because when you said that, it's like totally true. I watch you and I feel like, oh my god, she's like, she doesn't give a shit, but she does, but like, you do. And it's just so, but it's humbling, and it's nice to know that, like, that these people, that just to know, like, the people that you're looking up to and idolizing, it's like, okay, no, they are scared shitless too sometimes, and they hate to invite sometimes or whatever, and they hate getting rejection. But I think getting over like the no is probably like what helps with that the most, because I feel like that's where a lot of the fear comes from, is like, because like eventually I'm sharing my story, but then I'm gonna have to invite, and then I'm gonna invite, but what if they say no? And I think as long as like you're being like, if you can just come out there and just be yourself and not care, then just like you said, you're gonna weed out the people that are like not gonna want to be with you anyway, and why would you be around them? And I thought it was funny about what you said about the friends, because I definitely, like, I don't like to admit this, but like, I like lost a lot of friends when I started coaching, because I didn't quite realize, even though I was suspicious of it, of just like how judgmental and closed-minded they were, until I started coaching. And then like so many of them just like dropped, and it was like, okay, cool, see where the line is drawn. And then but then I still have a couple of people that like literally watch my stories religiously, but they won't respond to my messages anymore, nothing. And it's just like, you're always going to have those people. You're always going to have like people even still that like watch you. You send messages and they tell you no every single time, but they continue to watch you. And it's just like, someday maybe,
They just have to watch you. And like, guys, my friends, I'm sure my friends, like from like back home or whatever, I'm sure they sit around and they're like laughing at my Instagram or something. But like I said, like, if you're happy, and Beachbody, it isn't harming you. It's not bad for you. Like, you're getting fit and like helping other people do that. If people are that mad about it, do you really, really, really want them in your life anyways? Like, that's just kind of how I've been thinking about it. And I found like my best friends through Beachbody. Like they're better friends than I've ever had in my entire life, just because like we share this passion together, and like we don't care what other people think about us, and we're happy for each other. And my other friends, sucks for them. Like maybe they'll join me someday, but maybe they'll just unfollow me, and either way, that's okay.
My last question was how you found your success partner. Like, who is your success partner? How'd you find her?
Oh, I have 3. Okay, I know. Well, I don't work with all of them like extensively. One of them is, okay, they're all from the same downline, which was not my choice. Like, not that I was like targeting them. It's like in like Jamie Innes's downline. This girl named Megan Kelly, she was like speaking on one of our team calls one time on the Desire Empire, and I just like messaged her afterwards, and I was like, dude, like I feel like I relate to you so much. Like, do you have a success partner? And if not, like, would you want to hop on a Zoom call with me and just like chat? And she was like, yeah, sure. So we just hopped on. We ran a couple groups together, but kind of we just like became friends. And through that, she introduced me to another girl that she's success partners with. And now we just have like this group chat where we just like talk every day, whether it's like about coaching or about like personal life stuff. But I have those two. And then I was in like another group. So like my coach, Kate, and Sammy Glonick, Short Girl Fitness or whatever, they ran a group together and they paired us with success partners. So I was like paired with this random girl, and we just like got on Zoom together and started chatting about stuff. So if you want someone in another like team, just message them on Instagram and be like, do you have a success partner? Like, I think that we would relate really well together. Like, this Megan girl had no idea who I was, but she was like, yeah, sure. But then I always, like, on my team, I try to find girls who are like hitting similar numbers and have similar like backgrounds. So like maybe 2 stay-at-home moms. I'm like, okay, like I'll put those 2 together. Or I have like 2 Air Force wives together. Or like 2 brand new like teaching or like coaches who are teachers. I put them together. And sometimes it doesn't work. Like I've had other success partners and it's like it just doesn't mesh. But just keep trying and find that person, because those girls who have their teams, like they're all my rock stars because they push each other so much. They're always on Zoom together. They're always chatting about like their businesses and stuff. And then as like once you guys start building your own teams, do that for your coaches, because then they ask you a lot less questions. And like they're a lot less like needing you because they have their success partner that they can go to. And like that's the best, is when they're like getting work done and you get on Instagram and you see them and they're like posting something together, like we're running a sneak peek, and I'm like, are you? I'm like, that's interesting. I was like, can you add me? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, how did you want to do this? It's just amazing like what people do when they like start working with other people, because then they push themselves.
Yeah,
it's the best.
It's the best. Yeah.
So find a friend, even if it's on your team, like it doesn't matter. Find a friend who's gonna push you and not weigh you down. That's another thing.
Oh my God, this is amazing. I am so happy you said yes. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions for Sydney before we let her go? Because we took up an hour.
Thank you guys. I'm sorry. I feel like that was like a bunch of jumbled info. So I hope you got at least like one good sentence out of all of that.
Oh my God, totally. It was so amazing. Oh my God.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. All right.
Yes, I can't wait to meet you, Amy.
Oh my God. I know. Are you going to NLC?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
I'm such a ninny. I'm like rooming by myself and I'm just like, hi.
Let's hang out. Seriously.
Yay. Okay.
So
I'm gonna make a friend. All right, cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you, Sydney, and I'll see you later, okay?
Thank you, guys.
Bye.